Donald Trump has a new poll to brag about. A CNN ORC poll out just this morning shows Trump increasing his lead against the rest of the field to 41% nationally. His closest competitor, Ted Cruz, is at 19%. This is a brand new Quinnipiac poll, shows Trump leading in Iowa. So what does this mean as the Iowa caucuses approach? John Berman, I ask you. No, actually, I ask Hugh Hewitt.
Yeah, I thought so.
He's the host of the Hugh Hewitt Show. He joins us now. Good morning, Hugh.
Hi, Allison. Hi, John. Good morning.
Okay, before we get to the new poll, I know, of course, you watched the CNN Democratic Forum last night, and one response in particular jumped out at you. What did you see?
I saw the first question to Hillary Clinton last night from the young college student who said, "I've heard you're not honest." Now, that was a Republican campaign ad. She swung and she missed completely. She has three big problems. She's not honest, she's viewed as corrupt, and she had a failed tenure as Secretary of State. So that first one about her honesty, it came right out of the box, and what followed was like she burped out a cliche parade like she drunk a case of Rolling Rock. She did not answer the question. And so when someone says, "I hear you're not honest," and you don't respond directly to that, you concede. It's an admission against interest. So the rest of the debate was anticlimactic at the town hall. Chris Cuomo did a fine job, but I just kept thinking to myself, that's going to show up in every Republican ad. I've heard you're not honest, Hillary Clinton. Guess what? She's not. And when you get to the corrupt part, the speaking fees, and then you get to her record at state, the Iraq failure to get a status of forces, Syria, Libya, the Russia reset button, the failure of the PRC. Man, she had a bad night. I think Bernie was going up every minute of that town hall last night.
You know, Hugh, we get it. We hear it from you. We hear it from others. Republicans are itching to run against Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders, whoever emerges from that side of the race. And right now we get a sense of which Republican candidate might be the most popular right now. This new CNN poll showing Donald Trump at 41%. This is the first time he has broken 40% in our polls. And I know people like you look at the polls and say, hey, you know what? National polls don't matter. But doesn't it matter if this guy's number is getting higher and higher? He has led now for 5-6 months, and it's showing no sign of abating.
Oh, it was breaking 40% is a big deal because that's a new ceiling. And everyone keeps having to raise the ceiling like Gulliver growing with Donald Trump. And I talked to Donald Trump last week, and I told him straight out, I think Ted Cruz is going to win Iowa because of the evangelical mass-attending Catholic vote, and I think he's going to win New Hampshire. But whenever I see a number like that, I have to realize I could be wrong. I just heard Mark Preston tell Chris Cuomo that the secret to Donald is that he's the most confident politician he's ever heard. And Mark is right. I've never heard anyone overset expectations like Donald Trump did with Wolf Blitzer yesterday. He said, I should be telling you, Wolf, that I'm not going to win Iowa. Oh, I don't want to tell you that. I want to win Iowa. And that is actually both his strength and his, you know, the vulnerability there is if you tell everyone I'm going to win, 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 and you don't win, then it's a reset moment. But he is, without question, he has the charisma of confidence. And yesterday's interview with Wolf upplayed that, and that poll number is startling. Nevertheless, I also saw you around the Iowa poll, 31-29. That's statistical data. That's noise. That's white noise.
Wait,
so
I want to put that up. That's how Republicans feel. He's getting 31%. Ted Cruz is getting 29%. You said, why is that one noise?
It's white noise because the difference of 2% in that kind of a margin doesn't really tell us anything statistically. It's who turns out. That was said. It's said by everybody. Here, look, evangelicals are used to going out to Wednesday night Bible study, right? They go out twice a week in Iowa in the middle of the night. Ted Cruz has got a hammerlock on evangelicals in western Iowa. Pastor Rafael Cruz, his father, his deep-seated social media network, which not a lot of people see, but is very real, has been built very painstakingly over a year and a half. His people are going to show up, and they're going to show up in great numbers. A lot of pastors, a lot of priests are going to remind their congregations, which is unusual but not unheard of, in Iowa, especially in conservative, to go out and vote. They're not going to say Ted Cruz.
Right.
So I still think Cruz is going to win Iowa. And so that just takes us to New Hampshire, and we'll see what happens a week Tuesday.
But, Hugh, I did note something in your voice, which you're not supposed to do when you're on talk radio. You said, I could be wrong here in Iowa.
Who are you?
I could be wrong. You're not supposed to do that. It's not, you know, don't let me give you advice on how to do this. But, look, Ted Cruz knows what happens if Donald Trump does prevail in Iowa. Listen to what Ted Cruz says.
But I will say right now, between Donald and me, this is neck and neck. It is an absolute dead heat. And if Donald wins Iowa, He right now has a substantial lead in New Hampshire. If he went on to win New Hampshire as well, there's a very good chance he could be unstoppable and be our nominee.
Mm-hmm. So do you agree? I mean, does Cruz have that right?
Yeah, the only two people who can run the table are Cruz and Trump. I think Cruz actually has a better chance of running the table than Donald Trump at this point. But let me say this. Over in the American League, the National League is Trump and Cruz. Over in the American League, where you have Christy Kasich and Fiorina and Jeb Bush and Marco Rubio, that's the American League. They have the designated hitter rule, and they're beating up on each other with those baseball bats. It's like the St. Valentine's Day massacre over there. Someone's going to come out of that division, and that person is going to consolidate both establishment and non-Trump, non-Cruz voters. So this is going to go, I think, all the way to Cleveland. It's not going to be over. We're having too much fun. And you realize it, and I realize it. And about this, I'm not wrong. Frequently wrong, never in doubt. I am not wrong about this, is that the media has an incentive to keep this thing alive a lot longer. In fact, they have an incentive to prop up Bernie. I thought we were going to hear about Yasgur's farm last night from Bernie, and all the hippies want to come back and have another party. So we're not going to be over on the Democratic side either. This is going on for months.
Yes, but Hugh, it's not just the media that's propping this up. There is engagement from the voters. Regular people are engaged in this race like never before. I mean, people talk about it at dinner parties. People talk about it at the grocery store. Everybody is interested in what's going to happen.
Oh, truer words. I can't go anywhere because of these CNN Salem Media Group debates that I've been a part of. People want to give me their opinion. They don't want to know what happened. They don't want to hear funny stories. They want to tell you, I'm sure they want to tell John, they want to tell Chris, they want to tell me what they think. And I think last night, the town hall, it was a very interesting setup, very interesting forum, and obviously not filtered, because that first question to Hillary was a hit you in the head fastball. And there are a lot more of those coming between now and the wrap-up of this season, and I think it's great. It's wonderful. It's good for democracy.
Hugh Hewitt, great to have you with us. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
folks.